Following the story out of Gainesville, the visit of white nationalist Richard Spencer there, our Michael Williams is anchoring there from the scene, and understand he's part of a protest at the moment. Michael?
Well, not part of, certainly, but in the middle of it. There are people coming out. Richard Spencer, we understand, is done speaking. People began to shout, "No Nazis on our streets, no Nazis, get off our streets." Others were yelling, "No violence." This has been a peaceful afternoon, but it does appear that at least one of the persons here who perhaps had been supporting Richard Spencer was surrounded by people. Possibly, we understand, one of them was punched. Again, I do want to emphasize that for most of the afternoon, this has been a remarkably peaceful crowd of about 1,000 people, but we see people heading away from the crowd who've gotten caught up in the middle of the crowd. Shannon, if you can hear me, and clearly people taking out, and police are getting a little robust here, pushing us away. At any rate, the bottom line is several hundred people here, and many of them expressing their emotions, to say the least, about their anger over Richard Spencer, a white supremacist, speaking on the UF campus. The University of Florida said it had no choice but to allow him to speak. And there's been a huge, heavy police presence here all afternoon long. You see Williston police, you see Gainesville police, you see Florida Highway Patrol troopers. We have law enforcement from our area. It looked like one of the people who had come out possibly in support of Richard Spencer had been roughed up a bit. I cannot be sure of that. We know earlier somebody came out wearing a swastika shirt. One of my colleagues says was punched by some in the crowd. Again, others saying no violence, no violence. They want their message to carry the day, the message of diversity and peace, they say, and of equality, and they want to make sure that message is not in any way tarnished by violence. So we will again continue to focus on this. Some emotional peaks and valleys here today. This certainly is one of them right now at the end of Richard Spencer's visit on this campus. Shannon, we'll throw it back to you and keep an eye on the situation here.
And Michael, if you can still hear me, this is, according to your reporting earlier, this is really the most tense you have seen it there today?
Yes, and again, I don't want to sound a broken record, but it's important to put it in context for those of you joining us. This has largely been very peaceful with people. As we turn our camera around for a minute, people gathered from around the community, indeed around the state, a great many University of Florida students, but not all of them. And they said that they wanted to be here and make sure their message of diversity was heard. It has been. There have been some emotional moments and a couple of contentious ones, including this, and others yelling out again, as I said, Shannon, no violence. They want to make sure that this ends peacefully, and police are out here to make sure the same. But no doubt some moments of tension here. But again, overall, it has been people really out wanting to make sure their voices are heard.
And once again, Richard Spencer has now left the stage. From what we understand, he is making his way off the University of Florida campus at this point. But our Michael Williams and team, they're on scene in Gainesville. He'll have a full report coming up on News Channel 5 at 5 o'clock.